Hey there, my fellow author. I'm Sarah Elizabeth Sawyer, an old soul kind of writer living my dream as a full-time author and authorpreneur. But I didn't start out living a confident, creative lifestyle. I struggled with the fears and the mental and emotional barriers that so often plague writers at all stages of their author career. But the truth is that with the right knowledge, tools, and training, you can overcome those barriers. I'm here to teach you how I've developed a lifestyle that's allowed me to publish 19 books and counting. Each week, as you tune into the Confident Fiction Author podcast, you'll get clarity on the steps you need to take to advance your writing career. Whether it's developing your ideal writing routine, tackling new skills like dictating your fiction, or overcoming the obstacles life throws your way, this podcast will help you live a more confident, creative lifestyle. Let's get started. Well, hey there, my friend, and welcome to this episode of the Confident Fiction Author podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Elizabeth Sawyer, and today we are talking about continuing our writing through the holidays, and I've got some low-stress strategies for you. So if you are one of those that you want to keep your writing going during the holidays, maybe you find it. Maybe it's just because you enjoy your fiction writing so much. Like this is what brings you joy and refreshes and energizes you with your fiction writing. I know it certainly does me. Or maybe you just have a project that you're excited about and you want to keep writing on it. Or maybe you have a deadline and that's what you're facing. So you're here in the holidays and everyone's singing Christmas carols and going to parties, and you're like, I've got to keep my writing going. I've got to meet this deadline, and maybe you're doing it in between going to the parties, and all of a sudden you've got this tangle of stress and this knot in your stomach because you're trying to write through this holiday season. So I want to explore some low-pressure strategies with you that will fit your writing into this busy season. And remember, it's totally okay to give yourself permission to pause during the holidays. I just talked about that in the last episode number 46. So if you're like, hands up, I am just taking the holidays off, but I don't want to feel guilty about it, do go listen to that episode. But this is for you if you are really wanting some tips and tricks to keep your writing going during the holiday season. So even if you are giving yourself permission to pause, you are wanting to still do some writing. So let's talk about what you can do and keep the stress down while you're doing it. First of all, writing is a form of relaxation. So you may be finding yourself going to your story, going to your fiction writing simply to relax and de-stress. Sometimes we think about writing as this really hard task we have to get done each day, and otherwise it will follow us around all day, and it's a beast to conquer. But sometimes, and for some authors, myself included, fiction writing is relaxation. It is a break from other stresses and other feelings of busyness. When I give myself permission to sit down and do my writing session, and it can be a bit to get going in it. Sometimes it takes a couple of minutes or a few sentences to get into my story world, but man, once I'm there, it is so relaxing and energizing. Especially since I write by dictation. Not so much when I write typed, that was physically tiring, but since I dictate all of my fiction now, it is a form of relaxation for me. It is something that I can sit down, and if I really get into it, I can get into it for a couple of hours and I come away energized. I feel like I've been relaxing. And that may be why you want to keep your fiction writing going during the holidays. It is giving you a break from the rush and go of getting to the next party or getting the teacher gifts wrapped or whatever it is that you're trying to manage during this time that is just so extra. It's like everything just feels extra on top of what you already do in life. And so writing might be that escape time to get away from the stress and the pressure for a little bit and just enjoy relaxing into your story. One of the ways you can do that, though, if you're like, hey, I don't have an hour or hours to get that relaxation, but I do want to keep my writing going, is that you can have just short, low-stakes sessions to maintain that momentum, especially if it's a particular busy day or weekend and you like to write on the weekends, but there's a party on Friday night, there's a get-together on Saturday morning, and then Saturday afternoon you have to do shopping, and then you've got another party Saturday night, and it's just on and on, and you're like, I want to keep my writing. I want to escape a little bit into my fiction world, but I don't have a lot of time. And that's where I'll point back to my 5 minutes of fiction habit. I covered that way back in episode 10 of the podcast. You can go listen to it if you want to learn how to just develop a habit of just being able to have a 5-minute fiction writing session. I love doing that. It really keeps me in tune with my story and getting to just enjoy fiction writing every single day in just 5-minute pockets. So that can help you maintain momentum. And then when you do have a bit more time and you really want to get into your story writing session, you're not coming into it cold. It's kept it warm for you during that time when there's just something going on morning, noon, and night. And so with this, whether you're writing to stay relaxed and de-stress during the holidays, or if you're writing because you have a deadline, just remember it is about choice and not pressure. So you want to make it a conscious choice that you are maybe getting up an extra hour earlier to get your writing in because you have all the extra holiday things that are going on, but you have this deadline, or you are wanting it for relaxation before the chaos of the day starts, or to wind down for my night writers there. If you're writing at night, maybe you want to wind down from the stresses of the day. So you're staying up just a little bit later and getting to get your writing done. But just keep in mind that you don't want to look at it as you're being pressured to write. You're getting to choose to get your writing in even during this holiday season. Now, if you're not facing a deadline, but you do want to keep writing, or maybe you are facing a deadline and you only have like 2,000 words left to write and you've got a couple of weeks to get it done, but that is still feeling really stressful because your calendar is so chock full with all the extras in this season. So one of the things you can do is set micro goals. So again, 5 minutes of fiction or just one paragraph a day, something you can just write on your phone while you're standing in line at the store and checking out with your basket full of gifts. So look ahead to your week, each week, even now, like look ahead to the rest of your week. And of course, you've got your list. It's like, oh, I've got to get this shopping done. I've got to get the baking done. I've got to get all of these things done, and the kids are out of school and all of the things. So set realistic micro goals. Think, okay, yes, I've got all of this, but I can take 5 minutes while I'm doing the dishes. If you dictate, I can take 5 minutes while I'm unloading the dishwasher to get my fiction writing done on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, I can do it while I'm waiting for my haircut appointment. And so just look at where you can squeeze in just some micro sessions throughout the week to keep going on your writing until you hit that maybe Saturday morning, you're looking at it and you're like, I can actually get 2 hours of writing done. But instead of waiting until Saturday morning, go ahead and keep those micro sessions going so that, again, your story is warm when you get to it for a full writing session. And you don't feel so frazzled and have all of these other things in your mind and you haven't even thought about your story that week. Another thing you can do if you're just wanting to keep your fiction writing going for the enjoyment of it is to use some fun holiday-themed writing prompts. So write some flash fictions around the holidays or short stories. I did that with my Choctaw Tribune series. I wrote a Christmas story and I give that away each year to my readers. And it's just really fun to write a story during the holiday season. If it's one you're wanting to publish in the holiday season for your readers, you're going to need to write it probably sooner than that. But just know, even if you don't release it to your readers, you can write that holiday theme story now and release it next year after you've had a chance to edit it. But just use the spirit of this season to pour into a new story, a flash fiction or a short story set in your story world that revolves around Christmas or Thanksgiving or just this holiday season time. So those are ways that you can just keep the pressure down on your writing as you go through this season. Now, another thing you can do is blending writing and rest. So I'm talking about alternating your writing days and your rest days. So if you're like, I cannot keep up my 5 days of fiction writing and it's just really a drain to try to do 3 days in a row or 4 days in a row, this is just really too much. Look at alternating your days. So maybe on Monday, you catch some fiction writing and then you intentionally take off on Tuesday so that you can go do the rest of your shopping or wrap those gifts that you need for the company party that evening. And then on Wednesday, you write again. And so alternating those days that you're taking care of other things or you're just resting. Maybe there's that time on Friday morning or Friday afternoon that you're like, oh, I could be writing, but I've been writing. I just wrote yesterday and I've written all week. I'm going to take this afternoon to just rest. And I'm going to read that Christmas novella that's been sitting there that I promised myself I would read and use that as a way to rest or just take a nap. That is totally fine to just take your writing time, alternate it. One day you're catching some writing in the afternoon, and the other day you are catching a nap. So give yourself permission to have those rest days in between your writing. And along with that, I talked about reading a Christmas novella. I've got one I've saved that I'm going to be getting into. Reward yourself whenever you do get your writing done. So especially if you're on a deadline and you're very pressured to get your word count in each day and your brain is just like, we are not feeling it. There is so much going on, so many other things on my mind, and it really takes a lot of discipline to sit yourself down or to walk around if you dictate, whatever your writing mode is. It takes a lot to just stop yourself from all of the other in this season and say, okay, I've got to get my writing done. So one of the ways that you can help your brain to do that is tell it you're going to get a treat and then get the treat. That's so important. Don't promise your brain that, okay, whenever we get my writing session done, I'm going to treat with reading a chapter from this Christmas novella or literally a holiday treat. I mean, hello, we've got Christmas cookies everywhere. So, and I'm normally big about health and all, but it is the holiday season. So reward yourself with that treat after a writing session so that your brain, the next day, when it's time for that writing session, it's triggered with, oh, we're going to get that treat afterwards. So yeah, let's get this writing done and then get the treat. So it does work and it can be fun, even if it's just a sticker on your calendar. So just something that you reward yourself, even if it's just a short writing session, even if it's just your 5 minutes or it's 15, 20, 30 minutes, an hour, give yourself that treat. And then lastly, I just want to say that remember, any writing during the holidays is a bonus. Like, hopefully you're not facing a deadline, but if you are, just know that this is really bonus time for you to get your writing in, and you have this opportunity to be a fiction writer, and it's wonderful, but it's not a requirement. It's not something you have to think about 24/7. You can look at getting those words on the page as a bonus during this writing season. And if it gets to be too much, just know that you can give yourself permission to pause. And if you do have a deadline, you may want to look at negotiating it, which is totally legit too. That way you can look at any fiction writing that you get done during this season as a bonus, not a requirement. All right, my friend, wrapping up here, whether you are resting, you're giving yourself permission to just pause all fiction writing during the season, or if you are writing and you really want to stay on top of your writing all the way through the new year, or if you're doing a little bit of both during this season, like me, and you're doing a bit of resting and a bit of writing, I just want to tell you that you are still a writer. So give yourself permission to do whichever or both during the season and just enjoy it. I want to let you know that I am taking a break from the podcast here now to enjoy the rest of the season. I'll be back sometime mid-January with some solid New Year's planning for you. But meanwhile, I hope that you just enjoy this season. I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'll see you again in January. Take care.